How do you feel that, the climate in the NBA or professional sports in general is to handling and tackling this particular issue?
On sexual abuse?
Yeah.
I think that, there's a lot of our guys still suffering in silence, athletes in particular. And statistically speaking, you just know it happens. 1 out of every 4 young ladies, 1 out of every 6 young men before the age of 16 are molested. Then there's 30% like myself who go throughout life suffering. So it's really half of our people who have been victimized. It's definitely a sensitive subject, because a lot of people are still suffering in silence. A lot of people haven't, it's easier to not talk about. But socially, it's really killing our country. The 4 main symptoms that come from being molested: post-traumatic stress disorder, sexual dysfunction, anxiety, and depression. And at some point in my life, I suffered from all 4 of those symptoms. And what I'm saying is that if we don't talk about these stigmas, these kind of encounters, then that cycle will continue. And we'll have a generation of, kids coming up who are on prescription drugs at an early age, who are very promiscuous, who are very angry and don't even know why, because they can't talk about what happened to them. Somebody violated their trust.
You're not only ambassador, for, this sexual abuse issue, but you're a former NBA player. So as an experienced NBA player expert, what do you think of the whole trends in the NBA of like the big 3 and taking, several superstars, putting them together to make that team?
Yeah, well, I think it's always kind of been like that. If you look at the Lakers teams, if you look at the Pistons teams of the 80s, they have 3 and 4 Hall of Famers on, from one team. Some of these teams, the Boston Celtics always were loaded. Even Michael Jordan, he had Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman, 2 Hall of Famers. So, it's always been that way. Good players like to play together, and bring, ultimately, great players are judged off championships. But I think, overall basketball is at a great state. Overall, globally, it's at a great state. If you look at our high school, especially American basketball, even though, it's an international sport now, but let me talk from an American standpoint for a second. If you look at our high school players, if you look at our college players, if you look at the young guys who just came out after 1 year of college, if you look at our intermediate stars in the NBA, if you look at our stars who have been there, and got a little seasoning like LeBron, and if you look at our older stars like Kobe and KG, they're still all hooping. Like basketball is, at an all-time high right now.
Was there a favorite player that you had to play against when you were in the NBA?
Yeah, I grew up loving the way AI played the game.
Okay, yeah.
So playing against AI wasn't that fun. It wasn't that fun.
Imagine.
Yeah, I mean, he gonna give you 30.
Yeah.
And he gonna go at you every time. So it was tough guarding him. But I got a chance to play against Michael Jordan. Which was awesome. I got hit, he hit me with the shimmy shake, so I feel honored that, I got the shimmy shake done on me, so I feel honored about that. But I enjoyed my NBA experience, that's for sure.
Oh, great. Anything else you want to add?
I think that, I want to commend you for doing this type of story. So many people are suffering in silence for sexual abuse, and listen, let me tell you, it is a hard road to heal. It's tough, but I tell you, it's a lot easier to go see a therapist than to have a full-fledged breakdown and go to a mental institution. It's a lot easier to have that tough conversation with your parents about what you're going through than to go through life suffering in silence. And so, if whatever the call, like everybody goes through something, you have to be tested in life in order to be your testimony. Now you got to go out and be a witness. So my testimony, I was tested early in life, but I turned it into my testimony and I talk about it so I can be a witness, so that I can maybe help somebody, who may be going through something that I went through, or so that I can prevent, somebody who's going through something. We don't talk about the preventable measures, but talk to your kids. If you have children out there, talk to your kids. Tell them what a healthy touch is. Tell them what healthy dialogue is. Tell them that if somebody touches them inappropriately, you can tell dad anything. You can tell mom anything. We can communicate. And parents, don't be so belligerent when these things happen. I know the first emotion is to go and retaliate. But that won't solve the problem, because not only will that person be gone, then you'll be gone, and then the child will really be suffering. And so I'm telling the parents that, fight it with all your heart, but fight it the right way. Fight it with following up. Follow it with taking all the right steps. Follow it, just do the right thing. So I don't want to preach too much, but that's pretty much the message.
Great. Well, Keyon.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. And we got the book. Keyon Dooling, What's Driving You, out in stores. In stores right now, Amazon.com.
Amazon.com. You can go to my website, what'sdrivingyou.net, to purchase the book, see the movement that I'm kind of creating. You can also follow me on Twitter at Ambassador KD and Instagram at Ambassador KD.
Great. Keyon Dooling, Julian Caldwell, Towards the Top. Peace.